welcome back to another Workbench video. It's been 2 weeks since I've done a video, or 2 weeks since I've done a Workbench video, and I just want to show you guys what I've completed in the last 2 weeks. Now, the Mechanicum were in the last video, Workbench video, but I did manage to finish a couple of the remaining units, and I finally finished basing them. Now, the cat did not bother with that ball until I hit record, and now he's going to force me to throw it. But anyway, so I just have the Mechanicum on here. They are finally completed. I did manage to print off a couple of Domitars. I don't know if they come through properly. Let me just zoom in here. I don't know if they come through properly there. I finished a pair of them for that. And then I did my Voltorax. I think that's what it's called. So I finished him. Based him and all. So, sorry about that, I bumped it. So my Mechanicum army is done. I get to put that away in the check mark that off the books. I was going to buy the Forge World ones because everything else is official Forge World or Games Workshop models. But the two Domitars are $104 each, and you know what? I found a good file on the printer, so I printed it off. It's only for internal use anyway, so it's not as if I'm going to any tournaments, so c'est la vie. Anyway, Mechanicum done. The next thing that I did in the last 2 weeks, now mind you, this is all in the last 2 weeks. I have been on a crazy painting spree in the last couple of weeks, and I've got so much done, even more than you see on this table. And for the last 4 or 5 months, I've really struggled with motivation to paint. And I don't know what it's been, why it is the last 2 weeks where I just everything that I see, I want to paint it, and I'm doing it really rapidly. So anyway, the next thing after that was I painted a Blood Bowl team for my wife. She's seen this in the store. She thought it was really cool models. She especially liked this model here, so I painted this up in her favorite colors, which is black and purple. You know, with some really characterful models. Now, I don't play Blood Bowl, or neither does she, but one of our good friends we've known for a long time, he just got into it. He bought the starter set. So she bought a team, and we're just going to go to his place and play the game every so often, so she'll have her own custom team. So I'll show this team off in more detail in its own separate video, but yeah, I painted up the Blood Bowl team. I then found a rule set online for Naval ACW Gaming. Can't remember the name right now, but I'll figure it out. It's basically like Broadside, Empires at Steel, but in the ACW naval area. So I printed off the Virginia and painted him up. Very, very basic because I don't really know how to paint ironclads. Painted up the Virginia or the Merrimack, whatever it is, and the Monitor just to try out this game. So this took like 3 minutes to paint. So I painted those. So we're at Mechanicum, Blood Bowl, and ACW Naval. And then I'm going to take the camera off my stand here. Just bear with me while I do this. I also have to throw this ball for the cat before he loses his mind. There you go. I also finished the starter set for Star Wars, the Legion game. So, painted Darth Vader, and of course, Luke Skywalker. Now, I'll do a video on these. Oh, come on, focus. I'll do a video on these things all separately later. I then was on a kick, and I love space gaming, so I got into Drop Fleet, and I had the starter set, or the Kickstarter here for, I don't know, 5 years, and I finally decided to paint that. So I painted the entire fleet, several cruisers, fighter stands, of course the dreadnoughts, and the Scourge. So I painted both Scourge and the UCM. And yeah, so that's basically what I've gotten finished. They're totally done. I'm not going to expand on them any further, unless perhaps I like this set of rules for the ACW Naval. I might print off some steamers or some other ironclads or boats, but we'll see. And then I also have started on my 8mm Horus Heresy Mechanicum army that I've been mentioning for over a year. And I'm just going to show you a couple of these models up close once I put the camera back on its stand. So just hold on one second. Okay, that's a little better. So yeah, I've been working on my Horus Heresy Epic Apocalypse forces. I've done 6 legions so far, and instead of painting more Space Marines like I feel like doing, I feel like desperately doing the Ultramarines or the World Eaters, but I'm gonna stop and I'm painting something different. So I'm painting now the Mechanicum. Now, I wanted to do Mars, but I've said before, I cannot keep painting stuff fully red, like Blood Angels. I mean, here's an example of my Odetus Mechanicus army. For 40k, it's red. You know, everything that I paint is either red or black, which I don't know why I have that obsession. So I decided to go with some red, but mainly gray. Now, I was going to model these after my 30k army with red and kind of like a blackish color, red and really dark gray. But I decided, because of the way they'd be on the table from far away, I decided, you know what, I'll do gray instead. So these are some of the models that I painted. I just did these yesterday. I did 24 figures, tanks, and robots and stuff. Well, they're not really robots. They're whatever they are. They've got a human brain in there anyway, but they're basically robots for the sake of everything else. So I painted up about 24 models yesterday. I'm doing about 10 more today and maybe 40 this week. And hopefully by not this weekend coming, but the following weekend, I'll have them all based and ready to showcase. And then it'll be on to the Solar Auxilia, the essentially the pre-Imperial Guard of 30k. So the lighting down here is really bad, so sorry about that. I'm trying to look around and see if I can improve this, which I can't. But yeah, so here's a Dune Crawler. Now these are 30k, and I wasn't going to put this model in my 30k army because I couldn't tell if it was a 40k model or a 30k model. And I had to go back into my Horus Heresy novel collection, and I remember reading that these things were around in 30k. They were in one of the scenes, and sure enough, in the Master of Mankind book, these things are stated as being in there. It has a whole description of them like crabs kind of like crawling along. Also in that Castellax, so this little guy here, this little Castellax model, along with Castellans, are also mentioned in that book as fighting in the webway underneath the Imperial Palace while the demons are trying to flood through. So these are viable in 30k, so are Castellans, so I'm going to do a few of those. Anyway, Dune Crawler. Now, in real life, the gray is a lot lighter. I don't know why it's so dark on camera, but this is the start of my Mechanicum. Here's a armored Conveyor. Really nice model, actually. One of my favorite models of all of the 3D printed ones so far. Here is a proxy for the Thanatar that is with the big las cannon. This is a proxy model, but it looks fine, so I'm happy with it. And here's a proxy model for the Thanatar that has the plasma mortar. So again, not exact, but still looks fine. The Castellax actually look really good. Almost identical, almost. Just in itty-bitty scale. A Vorax. Oh no! Yeah, he's dropped. These are delicate models. He didn't break though. Vorax looks pretty good. And I have this Minotaur, which is, it drives this way, but it fires in reverse. So it has the turret kind of moves. You know, you can do whatever you want. So there's several of these I've got printed or painted. And then the Voltrax, I've got several of these, which are pretty close to the real thing as well. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, I'll show you I've got a whole bunch more painted here that I've finished. There's also, I didn't show you these guys here. These are proxy models for, what the heck are these things called? They're the tanks, the battle tanks of the Mechanicum anyway. He's not based though yet. So yeah, I'm working on that. And that's what I've done in the last 2 weeks. So sorry I haven't uploaded a video in a couple of weeks. It's really been just a real, excuse the language, it's been a real shit show here. The weather's been miserable. I've been on a real painting binge. And also the table that you see here was full of stuff. Like, I mean, it had boxes all over, which I'll show you in the upcoming days, maybe what I had on that. A whole bunch of stuff came in that I'm excited to get started on. And I didn't have any room, and my light bulbs blew down here in the basement. So there was no good lighting until I went to Walmart to get new light bulbs. So today's the day I installed them, and yeah, we're back down, and the cat loves it again. Look at him, look. Jesus. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.